Right, hello. So hopefully you can see me and everything. So you might be able to see there I've got my back support on because I've been really needing one of these for the last sort of few days or so. So if you didn't watch the video, I think it was on Friday. What happened was I was helping my dad move a load of really heavy shit, and my previous back injury that had gone away for a while came back, and oh god, it hurts. So, hello everybody that's on. So, yeah, basically, I've bought another one of these. I already had another one, but it's just one of those things that basically does really tight up around your back and it stops your back from slouching. It's better, bright old thanks, since I've had back supports on. So, whether that be body armor or like the proper back braces now, that certainly helps because it basically stops you slouching. I'd say at the moment, the most painful it gets is when I go to bed because I don't like sleeping with a back brace on. I'll fall asleep and then I'll wake up about 2 a.m. every night in agony because I've rolled into a position where my back's at a funny angle and then my tendons really hate it. Yeah, not too bad. Chocolate muffin. Sort of, Marcus. It's sorted only in the sense that I'm using something to back it up. But so basically, for those of you that don't know, I'll try and go over like a TLDR version of it. I think it was in 2017 when I was working at Argos. I had an injury because I was helping a teenager that didn't want to work there move a washing machine, so like a 60 to 70 kg washing machine because they put the concrete in the bottom of them. Move a washing machine on a pallet truck. No, not a pallet truck, a sack truck. So I was helping him move it on the sack truck, and he didn't want to do it properly. So he dropped his end of it. And to stop his legs being broken by the washing machine falling on it, I went like that and grabbed it. And that ripped the tendons in my back. So initially it hurt, but it didn't hurt too much. And it was within a few days, and I was just suddenly like screaming out in pain. So I went to see the doctors on the emergency sort of thing. Well, first of all, I went to the walk-in like emergency centre thing, and they said, "Oh, we can't help you. You need to go to your doctors the next day." So I went in to see the doctors the next day, and then they basically said, "Oh yeah, you've either slipped a disc or you've ripped all the muscles in your back. So here's a load of Valium and codeine. Have a week off work." So Valium and codeine were nice. I wish I had some Valium right now, but I don't. So I had Valium and codeine, which made it all right. So then I had a week off work, was playing video games, which was nice. And then I had like a couple of months of physiotherapy to repair the muscles in my back. But the problem is with an injury like that, you never really repair it. Like, it's a lot better than it was, but it's never as good as if you hadn't had the injury. So if you're a young person having a back injury, be very, very careful lifting stuff, because as soon as you fuck your back, it's never going to get fully back to normal. So what happened over the last few years is any time I did something that would risk my back, I'd get a bit of pain generally before it kicked in, and I'd be like, all right, I need to stop doing what I'm doing now. And then the other day I didn't get any warning. It just suddenly really, really hurt, and then, my back muscles are gone again. Yeah, I know what cirrhosis is, Richard. Yeah, that's horrible. But yeah, thanks. Like I said, the back brace helps a lot. So you can't really see it, but that at least stops me, doing more damage to it. But the problem is at the moment with the NHS, you literally can't be seen by a doctor. I mean, you can if you keep bothering them, but I can't be asked because, like I said, I know what the problem is. It's the same issue I had before. It's, something that weirds me out. It looks like there's a glowing eye on that PDF right now. I wonder what's reflecting back in it. It's a Nixie tube. See that? That's quite weird, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know what's causing that. Yeah, deep heat and the other thing, tactical is the thing I like is the I use it for my stomach as well, the ulcerative colitis. Like, those wheat bags you put in the microwave for a couple of minutes, like a hot water bottle. Those things. Right, Thomas? Yeah, I can imagine, Fuzzy. Like I said, going to a physio helped me a lot, but the problems with the NHS at the moment, I'm not going to be able to see a physio at all, or at least not without nagging and nagging and nagging and nagging. Like I said, I can remember some of the exercises I had to do before, most of them like pulling your knees up like that. So I've been doing some of those as carefully as I can. So the main thing that's helping me is just using, like the restrictive belts, because they at least stop you doing more damage to yourself. There's no chance of me getting an MRI X-ray or anything like that. I suppose I could do an X-ray myself, but that's probably more damage than it's worth. But yes, because the problem is in the UK, for the people that don't know at the moment, with all the corona stuff that's gone on in the UK, what's basically happened is that because basic doctor services are more focused to corona rather than anything else, they're overworked. Cheers, TXC Gaming. What's ended up happening is basically that if you want to see a doctor, it's very, very difficult. So, yeah, at the moment, it's basically you don't see the doctor. But because I know from a previous injury what this is, I can kind of deal with it myself. So my current thing when I'm not working is just basically drinking and taking painkillers, which is the worst possible combination, but it works. Like I said, if I had Valium, I'd take that instead. But Valium and alcohol and painkillers, probably a good combination, but you know. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. But when you're in chronic pain from like a back injury, you can understand why people get hooked on that shit. That's why OxyContin caught on in America, wasn't it? Like, I've hurt my back and I can't get any therapy because US medical systems will give me basically morphine to heroin's strength dope. I don't have a US Pascut helmet. I have a US Pascut vest, but I don't have a US Pascut helmet. You can probably find that on eBay.com. In the UK, you can't really find them just because of the fact that you know, they're like sort of what they call an ITAR band. Right, Ty? Right. To stop the eye glowing on that thing. It's weird because I can't see that no matter how I move my head. I can't see that with my actual head. But on the webcam, you can see a red glow on the eye. So let me move this here and see if it stops. Yeah, there we go. So it's the Nixie tubes making it glow. But yeah, let's just move that into the proper position anyway. Well, the problem is how the UK medical system works, Fox One Actual, is basically you have to go to your general practitioner, which is a GP, which would be a standard doctor, I guess, in the US. And then they refer you to another medical service. The problem is at the moment in the UK, GPs are so overworked due to all the corona bollocks stuff going on that you can't be seen by a GP. And I've just sort of got bored of trying to, you know, get into contact with one. So I know what I need to do, you know, in terms of not ripping my muscles apart further. I'm just not going to do any heavy lifting for a while. So basically what I'm going to do is just take painkillers, wear this, do some of the physiotherapy exercises from when this happened before. I'm just going to repeat all that and basically it should get better. But yeah, it's an awful situation for people experiencing stuff like this for the first time because it's affecting a lot of people. Well, the thing is, Richard Powell, as you say about that, the Taliban now have all the US top tier gear they want because of Joe Biden, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Like that's the weird thing. I saw a funny comment on YouTube the other day, and it's really, really true that Joe Biden did more for the Taliban's Second Amendment rights than US citizens. You know, if you want a brand new M4 or an M16 or an M249 or whatever else, they've sold those to the Taliban or given them to the Taliban through a puppet regime that collapsed. But if you're a US citizen, no, you can't have that. That's cool, chocolate muffin. I wasn't reading all your things. So is your section 2 going to a section 1 now? That's good. Oh, that's cool, Marcus. Where did you go and get to shoot that? Hopefully you don't mind saying the country, but where did you go? That's really interesting, actually. Because I'd love to go on one of those gun shooting holidays. I know a few countries do it, but I'd actually quite like to know where people have gone and just found it easy to do. Cheers, Tactical. Somebody I went to school with has that exact problem. Like, you know, since when they were about 13 or something, their spine started not being aligned properly, and then they're on permanent, you know, sort of physio and painkillers and all that. Horrible thing, isn't it, if you get it from like that early? But yeah. I like canal boats, even though canals aren't that wide. It's still a fun thing, isn't it? Having a long boat, whatever they call them. Yeah, and provided by the US President-elect Saint, exactly. Oh, okay, so it wasn't arranged, it was just with relatives, yeah. It's still interesting, Marcus, isn't it? But that's like saying that's the thing that I find all that stuff sort of quite interesting, with places that you can go to shoot. Because the ones that annoy me that are really hard to do nowadays, but they used to do them a lot years ago, were the British Army ones where they used to do like a donation thing for either Help for Heroes or the Royal British Legion, one of those, where you could go to a like army range and they'd let you shoot most of the modern British Army like small arms, just with a soldier on your shoulder doing that the entire time, for just some charity money. I'd love to do that, but I think like all incel terrorists, you can't do that anymore because all the people that make the rules. What brand of vodka is it, Brighthole, so I can avoid it? Oh, speaking Top Hat Man of Vostok's, this isn't a Vostok, but my new watch came the other day. So as much as I like Vostok's, hang on, let me show it on camera. I don't have a UV torch, sadly, handy, because these look really good under UV. But my Tauchmeister came. Tauschmeister? Whatever it is in Kraut. Let's see if I can get the light to focus on it. Yeah, 1,000-meter water depth Tauschmeister. And it's got a really nice lume on this one. It's like fluorescent orange and fluorescent green. You can see it in the dark really easily. Let me look it up, Brighthole, and see. Because it depends what the price is. Because we have, I think, a minimum alcohol pricing, like really shit stuff isn't worth buying. Yeah, I hope you get approved for that chocolate muffin. And if you get approved, please do videos because it's really interesting seeing all the section 1 stuff. But yeah, that's the sad thing near me because I've got a gun safe, but I'm not bothered ever going for even a section 2 because there's no one near me that even needs stuff doing even with an air rifle. Because the sad thing is all the farms near me are basically farms, so I'll say farms, that have been bought for just the land speculation price, not for growing crops or, having lambs or anything like that on them. So it's ended up being the thing of all the farms nearby are essentially just owned by big companies to speculate on the land. They just call them farms, even though they're not growing anything. Let me look it up, Richard. But Vostoks are the main Soviet army watches. You had Komandurskis and you had Amphibias, the two sort of standard Vostoks. But bear in mind, there's lots of variants of Vostoks. Yeah, it's strange markers, isn't it? I don't know why. But I've got this on my back at the moment, so that's helping quite a lot for making me make it worse. So anyway, let me look up what I was going to look up. So, a radiation troop. Let me just search for stock radiation troop and see if it's an actual thing. Okay, so sadly, from what I can find from just a quick Google search, those are like fake watches. So yeah, sorry to break that to you. If it's a good watch and it keeps its time well, it looks cool. But yeah, with the Soviet watches and the modern Russian ones, they're just Vostoks, and they're normally called Komandursky or Amphibia, if I'm butchering that. And so basically, that's like the army or the marine watches, and they're really nice for what they are. I've got both a Komandursky and an Amphibia. I've got two Amphibias, and I really like them for what they are, especially if you can get them close to like the £20 to £30 price. Because I know a lot of sellers want like nearly £100 for them now. But yeah, so like I say, in the Tauchmeisters are really nice. They do loads and loads of variants of these, but these are just right. So if I can remember all the details on these are I'll put it upside down again. Keep doing that. So these are German automatic dive watches, but like modern German ones. It's not going to focus, is it? Again, brilliant. Hang on, put the light on again. Yeah, but it's not going to focus now. There we go. So modern German dive watches with the day date and all that, they're pretty accurate. They're very, very good water depth, sort of pressurization. But as you can see, they're really thick cases. They're about 3 times as thick as a Vostok Amphibia. But they're basically just like modern versions of the German U-boat watches, but obviously made in various different designs, because the original German World War II ones didn't look anything like this. They're more of a much simple face with like a big crown on the side like that. Other than my back, Welsh lad Dante, all right, thanks. I mean, Marcus, the good reason to own guns in the UK for the most part is pest control if somebody needs you to do it. Like Chocolate Muffin's just saying, though, shotguns don't need a reason, but it's still good to have one. Because like I said, I could technically apply for a shotgun license, but I really don't have a reason for having one. Because there's not even any like real farms near me, which is a shame. So it would literally be like, I just want a shotgun. Why? Well, because, if I get some land with an ROC post and, I can legally install a safe there and go for all licensing, then I'd definitely go for a Section 2. But where I am at the moment, there's just no reason going through all the paperwork and that for basically, wow, maybe I might use it somewhere, but I don't know. You should be able to find Pulsar Challengers Cornholio swag on eBay or Amazon quite easily, because they're like current production night vision. You shouldn't have any, issue finding those whatsoever. Yeah, I've been using one Fox on actual. You'd still need to be doing it bright or like at an authorized kind of like range or something like that. That's the issue. If you're a regular person, you just try and apply for one and say like recreational shooting, where are you shooting? Then you can't answer it, can you? That's the issue. You need a Section 1 for that, Marcus, and that's much harder. Because a Section 1 is basically the firearms license, like the rifle license. Section 2, the shotgun one, is much easier to get. Again, you'd probably want to ask the people that own guns that more specifically, because then they can probably go more into the technicalities. For me, it's kind of been the thing. I could technically apply for a Section 2, but I've never bothered just because of the thing where I currently am. There's nowhere I can really shoot it, so why bother getting one? Yeah, Adrian, but sadly, because of that cunt, now it's going to be harder for everybody else. Cheers, Chris. I think it will, as long as I keep remembering to wear the back braces, do some of the physio exercises I had from before and all that, but yeah. Yeah, so as Flazzy's saying, you can't just say this farm down the road. They'll check with the farmer to make sure you're actually going to be shooting there and you've got permission to shoot there. I think we have stuff like that here, Brighto, but the problem is in here, I think for a Section 1, it's a lot stricter. So for a Section 1, I believe only like sport shooting at a range or hunting sort of pest control, like the only valid reasons. Like you couldn't say, I want to collect various rifles for a Section 1. I don't think that would work. For a Section 2, as like an extra excuse, I think it might. For a Section 1, I don't think it will. Right, for $700 Cornholio swag, you can get much better things than a Pulsar. Ask me again on another video where I'm not like live in the thing, and then we'll see if we can work out what's currently a good sort of type night vision unit that's modern on chat. But I do believe there are a couple of like Gen 1 plus, Gen 2 like current production night visions that you should be able to get for less than that. Yeah, bunkerologist, but I think smooth bore and all that, black powder is section 2, isn't it? Not section 1. So it's the one where the police have to prove why you can't have it, as opposed to you having to prove why you need it. As in the Canadian C4, no idea. I got my C4 through trading with somebody. As I said, Alexei, there's no point me getting it where I currently am because I've got no area I can actually use it. So owning a shotgun and not being able to shoot it is completely pointless. As I've said, when I eventually find an ROC post or similar, I'm sure there'll be enough land with that if I have an outpost type building with a gun safe in it, then I can justify it. But where I am at the moment, no point because I can't use it. Well, as in it's getting harder in Pearl and Brighton. Let me just get you a picture of what this actually looks like under a UV light because the colours look really cool. I did take a picture the other day that came out quite well. So let me just sort that out. Hang on a second. So yeah, that's what the watch looks like under UV. If it focuses. Doesn't want to focus. There we go. And again, it's defocusing, but yeah. I just thought it was a really cool looking colour scheme under a UV light on that watch. Oh, it's getting easier, Brighto. That's good. Sorry, I thought how you were wording that is you meant they were making it harder and harder to get a license. Yeah, so what looks like fluorescent sort of pinky orange on there is bright orange under UV, and obviously that other sort of colour just kind of really glows. Saying that's a nice thing. It's just one of those ones that under UV light, it's really, really bright. The entire watch face. I don't think so, TXC. You said, "Wow, my internet connection is so bad here. I don't think many of my comments are sending through." It's probably not your internet. It's probably YouTube deleting random messages you send because of censorship. But in saying that, somebody else replied to you saying sanctions. So maybe I just can't see your comment. Yeah, YouTube comments are a bit of a mess at the moment with all the stuff like that going on. All right, Vladimir. I won't be on ages, Vladimir, tonight because my back already is sort of playing up and I just want to have quite an early night tonight. But I thought I'd come on and just chat with people for a bit. And I assume most of you, like me, have been watching the stuff in Afghanistan and going, fucking hell. Oh, as in you wanted to buy it, Alex Saint, and then we're like, no, I can't afford that or what? Oh, Chocolate said, test my blank gun as well. Forgot that. Really nice as well. Yeah, blanks are really fun to shoot, aren't they? Especially the ones where you're ejecting all the shell casings and that. Right, so Dan, basically about 4 or 5 years ago, I had an injury when I used to work at Argos and I was helping somebody move a washing machine. And they dropped it, and I went like that to grab it to stop them breaking their legs when it fell on top of them. And as a result of that, I like either ripped the tendons in my back or slipped a disc. As a result of that, I had loads of like physiotherapy in that for months, and then it got mostly better, although it still hurt now and again. And then as of last week, my dad's like, I need you to move this really heavy thing for me because I can't lift it. And when I did that, all of a sudden my back just went, searing pain. I knew exactly what it was, and then it's gone again. Fair enough, Alex. I have no idea what certain bikes should cost because, I mean, with cars, 10 grand would be cheap for a car. I do TXC gaming. I'm wondering how I can send you an invite though. I'm sure I can sort you one out, but you'd have to probably comment on a regular video about it because I'm sure on live streams it's not going to work. Why can't our puppet government do its job? Yeah. What would definitely work, Chris, although it's not going to be that comfortable to airsoft in, is if you get like the cold weather survival gear. So the Ukrainian bar suits do it, and the Russian Gorkas will do it, like the cold weather Gorkas, because they're so good at trapping heat in. From a flare on the outside, you'll look the same temperature as everything else around you. So yeah, I'd say the easiest thing you could do without spending loads of money with electronics, like heating bits and like different bits being colder and hotter, would just be to get a good cold weather Gorka or anything similar to that because of how well it will trap your heat inside the suit. But of course, that's not going to be nice to be running around in something like that. Thanks, Fox National. I mean, it's worth you mentioning that, but bear in mind, obviously, I've seen all the doctors and that about it before, and they've done all the shit like X-rays and that, and never found anything other than they think it's torn tendons. But like I said, the problem is at the moment you can't see somebody because of how fucked our medical situation is. Because basically, when Corona happened, they diverted most of the doctors from treating regular injuries to basically being all decked out or worried about coronavirus. And now when you try and contact them saying I just want an appointment, they're like, no, we can't see you. So unless you want to pay all the money to go private, you basically can't get seen, or at least where I am. So I'm just going on the thing of I basically know what it is and I know what to do. So I'm just going to basically, do everything in my power to not make it worse. Yeah, exactly, Oliver. Because there's a thing where the people keep going, oh, you can still see them. It's like in the last year and a half, I only managed to get one doctor's appointment, and that was for mumps. And the only reason they saw me is because they get done if they don't see you if you have mumps, because they have to tell you to literally lock yourself down from everybody. Because of the fact you'll basically end up killing people with mumps if you're if they're they've got underlying conditions and you give them mumps. So that was a funny thing. That's the only time I've managed to see them. Everything else they basically say we're not interested. There are, Vladimir, but basically the problem was that when coronavirus started, because everything has been redirected to dealing with corona, it's completely fucked up the medical system. Don't bother doing it now, TXC Gaming, because I'm going off fairly soon, but try it in a comment on a regular video tomorrow or something. Yeah, Cornelia, there's a couple of really cool like combinations of thermals and night visions. But yeah, I think they're a bit outside the price range of regular people like us, unless I guess Taliban surplus starts selling them to people because Joe Biden essentially gave it to them. But yeah, unfortunately for most people, if you look at that stuff, it's tens of thousands of dollars for that sort of tech. What's that, Chris, about making a note? It probably didn't show up on my chat anyway, but yeah. If I had the land, Alex saying I definitely would. But the problem is at the moment, obviously, I don't. I assume you're talking about airsoft stuff, but yeah. Yeah, put in the comments TXC Gaming of this stream, and then I can check back tomorrow and try and sort it out if it all goes through all right. Vladimir, sadly, I think there is. I think this is a thing in the news recently where, in terms of like medical kind of things per year, I think there's a limited space of them. So you can have as many women's studies, like university courses as you want, but medical like practitioner type things are massively restricted. So yeah, they've got a shortage and they're not doing anything to ease the shortage. So yeah, it's a bad situation in terms of that. Like I'd say our health service is very good for what it is, but recently over like a few years of I know it's more than a few years, but underfunding and now all the corona stuff, it's made it very hard to actually just get seen unless you want to go private. All right, Nick. Well, it's an easy excuse, isn't it, Top Hat Man? Oh, we can't see you because of this. It's COVID's fault. It's like when you have a problem at the moment with like any sort of company, and they say, "Oh, sorry, because of COVID, we don't have any customer service people." It's like, oh, this is a great excuse for giving shit customer service. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be off in a minute. Because like I said, I wasn't going to stay on ages tonight because I want to have quite an early night tonight, and just lay down to my back. And I've been working all weekend as usual with a back brace on because, oh, I wish I could just lay down, but unfortunately can't. Oh yeah, I've used Tiger Balm before. It helps. Obviously, if you've got a slip disc or something like that, Tiger Balm's only going to help to an extent because the problem is physically deeper down. Something that just warms your back muscles up isn't going to help in terms of essentially damaged bones or damaged tendons, whichever's done it. It depends, DM. Who do you do it with, if you don't mind saying? Because a couple of my friends have had private medical stuff before, and they've been really let down by it. As in, if they get diagnosed with something, they'll say, "Oh, that's not covered under your plan, so go public anyway." So basically, it was a waste of money. But yeah, exactly, Fuzzy, COVID and Brexit together. Oh, that's why we can't do anything to help you. So yeah, that's basically the thing. Unfortunately, that with lots of these conditions or whatever, they'll private medical thing, unless you're on a really good provider, will basically say, "Oh, we don't cover that. We don't cover that. That was on our pre-existing, condition list." Fox, no, just be very careful about saying it can fix your injury unless you know exactly what's causing it, because you can make a lot of stuff like that worse unless you're doing the exact right exercises. Oh, a bit like car insurance, I guess, then, DM, yeah. Because I have comprehensive car insurance just because I don't like the idea of it. You could be in some sort of accident and you're fucked because of it. Anyway, I'll be off. Have a good evening, everybody. As I said, I'll probably go to bed within an hour or so because busy this weekend and I just want to lie down because of my back. But I'll do some videos during the week, but they're probably not going to be very exciting because they're probably ones where I can't do much, so it's just going to be having a look at some gear or something. Anyway, have a good evening, everybody, and thank you to anybody that donated. I do appreciate that.